Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. I am going to go ahead and continue off from my first video in which I did a bubble wreath, and today I'm actually going to make a layered bubble wreath. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and want to make sure, one, that you have your completed bubble wreath ready to go, and I'm going to let you know right now I have my kids and my puppies in the background, so I apologize if you hear them. That's just how it is here. So what I want to do first is, once I have my wreath completed, I guess I'll start off with showing you what supplies we need today. So in order to complete this look, what you're going to want to have are some zip ties. You're going to want to have either some wire cutters or a zip tie gun. These are pretty cool. You are going to want to have another layer of burlap. And some optional things here today are a sign, some floral, trying to show you guys everything, some floral, and some ribbon. So I want to kind of go through what I use, and hopefully you guys can follow along. There might be some additional materials that you may not have that you might need to purchase, so I'll go through all of that in terms of what I use. So today I'm making a Easter wreath, and my customer has more of the neutral tones for her Easter decor. So she wanted more of those neutral earthly colors. So I found the perfect sign to go with that. I have the cutest ribbon and thought I'd take the time to show you exactly how I make it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to have 9 zip ties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The reason why I say 9 is because this is on a 18-inch wire frame, wreath frame, and they have this specific wreath frame, I'm gonna turn it around, has 9 crossbars. So you can see the crossbars behind. And there's 9 of them going around total for an 18-inch wreath frame. Now I think the 16-inch has 8 of these crossbars, so it just depends on the size you have. But since I have an 18-inch, I'm going to go off of an 18-inch wreath frame and use 9 zip ties. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find those crossbars. And you're going to want to, I'm going to try and zoom in a little closer so you can see. Do you see that crossbar right there? What you're going to want to do is just slip your zip tie in there so it is underneath that crossbar. You can see it right there. It's underneath. So you're going to want to find all of them and pretty much do the same thing. So take some time to go ahead and put a zip tie where all of your crossbars, underneath all of your crossbars. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly. And I find doing this ahead of time just kind of helps speed up the process. You don't have to, you can do it one at a time. But for me, this kind of helps speed up the process when I'm working on my layered bubble wreaths. That's what I call them, bubble wreaths, because I got the burlap to look more like ruffled bubbles. So if there's another name for it, I may not be saying it right, but that's what I call it. So all right, just bear with me as I finish. Looks like I have 2 more to do. All right. And it is 9 right here. All right, so what we're gonna wanna do next, I hope you guys can see it, I already have it all completed. What we're gonna wanna do next is we're gonna want to grab our burlap that we wanna use, and we are basically going to start off wherever you want. This is all, it's not non-patterned. Sometimes I don't even do burlap, I'll just use ribbon. You just wanna make sure that you have the right side of the pattern up. This is non-patterned, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to not zip it all the way, but partially, because I want to have enough space right there, if you can see, so that when I come back around, I have enough to put my burlap through and close that. That's just gonna help kind of guide it in place so I don't pull it with me. Then we're gonna go on to the next bar, and we are going to zip tie it. But before I do, I want to make sure that I have enough of the wreath section I want perfectly covered. And then all I'm gonna do is pull it. So, get that zip tie pulled through. I'm gonna come with my zip tie gun and cut it. I like using a zip tie gun because these zip ties have sharp pieces when you cut it off, and the zip tie gun kind of takes care of it where it takes it away. If you use the wire cutters, you might still have that sharp edge. It really won't necessarily impact you because it's poofed up enough where it won't bother you, but it's just something I like to use. I got mine off of Amazon. I'll have to see if I can find a link to include it in my description. But that's all I do, is just go around and do the same thing 9 times. Actually, it's like 10 times because of our starting point. So you'll begin to start seeing the formation of your beautiful wreath, layered bubble wreath. And just make sure that each section is coming together. So you can, at the end, turn your zip ties around so that they're not, the end piece is not showing on your wreath. You can definitely do that. It just depends on what you have on your wreath and how much is showing and so forth, and if it's covered by your little bubbles that you already have going. So, all right, almost done here. Now in terms of the size, I don't know exactly how much, but you just want to make sure that you measure out your layer of burlap that you're using beforehand, because you want to make sure that you have enough to use and have throughout. You can, sometimes if you don't, like you have 2 pieces, you can use them. And what I mean by 2 pieces, like say you were working on another project and you have 2 of the same color burlap, but not enough to go around. But if you have them both together and you want to use them to go around, you can definitely do that. You'll just want to, kind of how I did in the beginning, you're going to want to start and end the pieces together. So use one zip tie to put it together. I do that sometimes. You know, you definitely want to make sure that you're making the most out of your materials. So if you can do that, don't hesitate. I wouldn't worry about, you know, it showing up in your final product, because like that piece right there, because you're gonna be able to attach things to your wreath that will actually help cover it up. So I hope that is helpful for you. Sorry, I have a helper in the background who is playing a computer game, so I apologize for that. If you hear any weird horse noises in the background, my daughter is playing her Star Stable games while I do this. So all right, can you guys see that? it's coming together. All right. We got 2 more slots, and this is actually a perfect amount of burlap to use. I think I've told you guys this before, but I actually like getting my burlap from Burlap's Craft Co. They have the best burlap. This is actually not from there, but usually I get my burlap from there only because they have the cutest patterns and colors, and gives a nice finish. You can get your burlap from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I believe both of these are from, the regular color burlap is from Michael's. This one is from Hobby Lobby, I believe. All right, so if you see here, we're pretty much done. So I'm gonna want to trim my burlap right about here. Hope you guys can see that. All right, put that piece aside for now. And what I'm gonna want to do is just tuck it either underneath or above inside my zip tie. Make sure everything is nice and perfect. You know, before I zip it through, I want to make sure I get it any extra cut off. See right there, and zip it through. All right, so here we have it. We have our layered bubble wreath. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I decorate mine and make them into fun, cute, seasonal wreaths. So, one thing I do want to share is you want to be aware of how you're gonna be placing the wreath. So I try to have, this part available so you can hang it on a hook. Can see that. So I try to have this part, like the long part, available to hang on a roof, to hang on your door. So I try and start directly from there. So anything I do is going to be directly from that point. So what I'm going to start off and do first is I want to place my beautiful sign on here, and see a crossbar right here. You want to use your crossbars as guides. I always do. If you can see, like, there's 2 underneath this part of the sign, which is perfect because I'm going to go ahead and use that as my point. So actually, let me see, I'm going to lower it a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. If it has a hanging piece to it, I usually just cut it off. This I got from, you can leave it on or take it off, it's up to you. I always take them off. This I got from Hobby Lobby in their Easter section. Try and cut as much as you can off so it doesn't impact or scratch a door. Let's see if I can pull this piece off, or at least get it to where it's not impacting. And it should be fine because, again, it's going to be layered on top of the wreath. You just want to make sure that it's not going to impact or scratch your wreath. So I think that is good right there. Okay, let's do the other side. So here's where we get into the fun tricks I have for you. Sorry, just want to make sure I get everything. I wanted to show you guys because this is all part of the process. All right. I think my little one might be coming to crash in on here soon. Okay, so I use these one by one mounting bases. You can get them at Home Depot. They come 100 in a pack. I think it's like $18 for the pack, and they're for zip ties. You see here. I hope you can see them. So what I do is you peel off the tape basically, and you stick them on. Since a lot of my wreaths travel and so forth, I want to make sure that they stay on tight. So what I usually do 24 hours before I'm actually going to make my wreath, I didn't do it in this situation, but I will. I'm going to come back and do it. I'm going to place these on here just for show, but I actually use the E6000 glue, and I put it underneath it and place it on my item so that I know it's going to stick. And this is like really strong glue. If you don't have any, I suggest you get it, only because it's perfect for any craft that you make. And I use it all the time for a lot of my items. So I'm just going to go ahead and place these mounting bases for now on here so I can show you exactly how I do it. So as you see, I have them. I might not use all 4, but you know, I just have them there in case I do need to. So I'm actually not going to use the crossbars in this situation because there's no need to. But what I will do though is use the outer part, of my wreath frame. I don't know if you can see it. The outer part's right here. All right, what I'm going to do, just bear with me, use my zip ties, and I'm going to make them a little bigger. Not too much. I'm going to cut off the ends, and I'm going to slip it on through that frame, and I'm just going to put them through behind. And my little one is here, so I apologize for that, but she's usually pretty quiet in the background. She just likes to say hi. Okay, so I go ahead and have it, I'm struggling a little bit, but you can just basically put the zip tie through and attach it to that wreath frame. So I have it attached. I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to do 1, 2, 3, the sides and the bottom only. Excuse me. All right. Yep. I'm making a video.
At the honey trend?
Yeah. Can you watch out really fast?
Oh yeah, mommy.
Thank you, baby.
Mommy, I want to see the pen here.
Oh, you can't right now. Okay.
I too little to her. Wait, I can't see her.
You can't see them, but they can see you.
And you want her?
All right, so I'm doing the same thing on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and attach that sign.
But I don't see me.
Can you watch out, please? I'm just going to cut it from behind. And then what I'm going to do, just to make sure it's securely on there, I'm just going to go ahead and get the bottom part as well. So again, I hope you guys can see I'm getting this frame part right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and loop my zip ties through. All right, create a big one. They do sell them longer, but I find it's cheaper just to get like one size, because you can get 1,000 of one size and just kind of create them as you go. So make them bigger as you go. So I'm just going to show you here in a second how it looks from behind.
Mommy, are we today?
Sure, baby. All right. All right, so you can see that's on there pretty good. So again, using that E6000 just kind of really reinforces your frame, especially because it's kind of heavy. I'm gonna go here, kind of show you what it looks like. And looking here, I might just go ahead and get that last loop to secure it pretty tightly. And if you have that E6000, it's just going to help reinforce it. The E6000 goes underneath these. It's just like an additional adhesive for your wreath and for your sign, so it doesn't come off and your customer is happy. So that's all I do. What's the matter? You're okay. All right, so see, it's attached. I have it to the wreath frame. This is the inner layer, the inner circle, and it's on here securely. I hope everybody can see that. It's coming out really cute. I'm gonna go ahead and put this to the side so I can do the next thing I need to do, which is create my bow. So put this to the side. Now I'm gonna try and do this 2 ways. I use the Bodabra. Oops. Okay. All right, I'm going to use my Bodabra, and I'm gonna try and do it 2 ways. So for those of you who do not have a Bodabra, but I'm going to use these 3 ribbons here. I like to use 2-inch. If I do have a 1.5 inch, I like to use it for my last loop or the front part of my ribbon. So I only have enough ribbon of this ribbon to make a few pieces, so I have to be really strategic in the size I'm making this. So let me go ahead and get started. So for I like to do my ribbons in 2 different ways. I like to do, if I'm doing more than, if I'm doing 3 ribbons, I like to do 3, 2, 1, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. 3 loops for the outer layer or for the bottom layer, 2 for the middle, and then 1 for the front. So I'm gonna try that. It just depends on how much ribbon I have on that middle loop. So I like to start off by doing a 22-inch tail. So let's go ahead and do that. That's my starting point. I like to do a 22-inch tail. You know, actually I'm gonna start with 18 inches first, but it's okay, I'm gonna keep this. So I'm gonna do a 22-inch loop. I'm gonna do 3 22-inch loops for my outer layer. So, oh great, we get Peppa Pig in the background. I'm gonna lower that just a second. Just gonna lower it just a little, okay? All right, 22-inch loops. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to make 1 18-inch tail. So now, if you don't have a Bodabra, I'm going to just go ahead and get this going. But if you don't have a Bodabra, you can actually use like, you know, those plastic things to kind of help close your prongs to kind of close your chips. You can use those to do what I'm about to do here, so you can kind of pinch it together at the middle. So here I am. I'm just going to do a little dovetailing on this ribbon. So all right, so I got my dovetail. So I'm going to use a Bodabra. You're going to want to use your Bodabra ribbon, which mine is not put together right now, but I'm going to go ahead and use it right here. All right. So I have a big enough piece to work with my ribbon and just put it underneath. I should go do that a little slower. So if you have your Bodabra ribbon, I just cut let's see how long it is. Maybe like 30 inches, about 30 inches of wire, because this is going to be a thicker ribbon. And I just slot the wire in between those two, in between these 2 things right here. And then just tuck it underneath. And then what I'm going to want to do is get my ribbon, make sure it's the right side up, pinch it at the middle, turn it around, and create my tail. Then I'm going to want to get my next loop, or my first loop, put it in half, overlap each other. So you see here how I'm overlapping just the edges slightly. Make sure you have enough so that it's caught when you do the ribbon, or the wire, that it's caught. You're just gonna pinch it and put it through. You wanna double check and make sure they're about the same size. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that for my next two. Okay, sorry, just making sure I have it on the right side. All right. So, I promise this will all come out at the end. All right. Here we go. This one looks a little bit, this side looks a little bit longer than the other. Can you please stop that? All right. All right, so you see that's my base. That's gonna be the base part of my bow. Now this is where it'd come in handy to have that like chip clip, so you can pinch it right here at the middle and hold your bow there. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and use this ribbon as my middle part, and I'm gonna do 2 sections. So since I'm gonna do 2 sections, I'm gonna try and see if I have enough for a tail and enough for my 2 loops. So I do. So I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna cut each of them at 18. Actually my tail I'm gonna cut at 16. So my tail, can you please stop? All right, I'm gonna do 16 for my tail. Okay, so here's my 16-inch tail, and then my loops are going to be 18. I apologize for my distraction in the back. All right, 18. So I have a little section left. That's all I have. So I pretty much use that whole loop to its fullest potential there. Now I'm going to go ahead and dovetail the bottom of my ribbon. I didn't pull it off because I'm going to cut it off anyways. So it's dovetailed. And then I'm just going to layer it on top of my bottom bow. And put it on top of my bows. Just layer it. Again, the only thing you're going to want to do is, if you don't have a bodabra, just make sure that you have like your chip clip pinching it right here in the middle. Okay, so the bodabra does come with a piece where you can put in through the slot to kind of hold everything down. I don't have that with me, and I don't know where it is in my mess of things. So, all right, so my outer layer was 22 inches long. This layer was 18. So I think for my last one, I want to do about 15. So you're going to just want to do it a little different. You're going to want to do, hold on one second. Hey, can you please sit down?
No.
Because I am making a bow right now. Remember, look, they can see you. Can you please stop?
No.
Glory of everything. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to, do you want fruit snack? Go ask Daddy for a fruit snack, please. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a 14-inch tail on this one. And then I'm going to do a 15-inch loop. And then I'm only going to do one. Like I said, I do 3, 2, 1. And since, I'm so sorry. Since this is going to be my last bow, I want to do a little piece that's going to be about 6 inches. And you'll see why. Okay, so let me dovetail this bow really quickly. Again, I didn't really cut off the end piece because we're going to cut it anyways. So, all right, we'll get that perfectly. All right, so you see this All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. All right, so I have this. I apologize, this is just my life. But it's all right, this is like the reality of crafting anyways. So here's my tail for that final piece. You might have to like make it work a little and push it down, but it'll come out at the end. Here's my loop. Final loop. This piece does not want to work with me. Okay. And then here is that final loop piece. And you're going to want to have it here. All right, so this is what I do. Normally, all I would have to do is put my ribbon and then tie it a few times for it to be done. Or since everybody does not have a Bodabra, I'm going to try and see if I can work my magic here with a zip tie and show a little trick. So, all right, so if you have a chip clip, you're just going to want to make sure everything is set. I hope everything is making sense to everybody. All right, so what I'm going to do, if you don't have, sorry, my daughter is very, very stubborn. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is use your zip tie. All right, and then I'm going to cheat, and all I'm going to do is take my ribbon as if I were going to do it on the Bodabra and tie it. Since my zip tie has everything securely in place, I'm just going to use my ribbon and hold on one second. What's the matter, baby? Can you please let her have some? Okay, close the door. Can you close my door? Thank you. Apologize. Okay. So again, I'm just going to use my Bodabra ribbon. All right. And do this. All right. So once I am done, I'm going to go ahead and cut my excess ribbon. And then I'm going to come over here to the front. Don't cut your actual Bodabra or your wire ribbon that you use to make your bow, but just cut off that zip tie. All right, you can make sure you have everything in place, and we are just going to fluff now. Okay, so I have this extra piece of my loop right here. All I'm going to do is cut that off. Okay, and then I'm just going to go around and form everything. So all I do is kind of guide my thumb towards the middle of the bow and then just poof it up. I'm just going to do that for every single layer. I hope you guys can see that. Just kind of work your way towards the middle of those loops. And then you're going to want to do this a few times as you're working on your project. So now I'm going to the second layer. I better hurry, I think it's lunchtime. These kids are getting a little rambunctious. Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm almost done with this part at least. We still have a few more things to do. Okay, so here is my bow, my completed bow. And then this should be fine. You'll be able to hopefully have it go down. If it doesn't, I do have a trick for that. All I would do is get a piece of here. I would just glue it. All I would do is just kind of fold it in half and make sure it's like this. And have it go. I usually have a thicker piece, so all I do is glue gun it down. and then I wrap it around and glue gun it shut. So, and glue gun it right there so that it's perfect. So, I'm not gonna do that right now because I don't have my glue gun ready to go. But that's all you would do if it doesn't want to stay put. Usually it does. In this situation, I don't know why it's not. Next thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to get your zip tie. And do you see this first loop right here? You're just gonna want to slide it, if you can get it, in there, in between the ribbon. Just kind of go to the back until, push it until it goes through, right? So it's going from one side of my tails to the other. So it can go like that. Don't close it in, just making sure you know. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and get my wreath back here, right? And I think I'm gonna do floral. If my customer doesn't like it, I can remove it. I have this big Easter pick from Hobby Lobby. So I'm gonna go ahead and place it at the top. And I have 2 of them. So I'm going to kind of mess with it to see where I want it. So it's gonna kind of come out pretty big here. Of course, here's my Bodabra thing that I didn't find. Okay, so this is pretty much where I want to place it. Hope you guys can see that. And then what I'm going to do is just cut that branch off. Cut it to where I want to use it. This is a really thick piece, so you might have to work with. Some of them are really simple. This one's going to take a while to get. Make sure you cut it through. Wow. Usually it does not take me that long to do it. I might have to recruit my husband to come and do this, or just stand up. Oh, wow. All right. Promise it doesn't usually take that long to cut this. So I'm going to turn it around. There we go. Okay. There's one piece. And then I'm gonna cut the other area around the same.
Hot. I need water. I need tip.
Okay, go ahead. Ask your daddy for water.
No, Daddy,
Man, this is giving me some problems today. Wow. Okay. So I got those 2 pieces cut. And then I'm going to want to find. Yeah, can you just put it over there, please? A spot. I'm going to space it so that it looks good where I'm trying to place it. Once I do that, I'm going to try and find. Thank you. I'm going to try and find a spot on my frame, and I'm just going to pull the zip tie through. I'm gonna do 1 for now. If I need more, I can do that. Actually, I'm probably gonna need more. Okay, so I'm gonna move it to the left a little bit so I can get this pick in, because I want to make it sure it's spaced enough to get my bow in. And I'm just going to add it to the frame. Wow. And I'm just going to do the same to the other side. Make sure you have enough. Sorry for all the shaking. All right, here we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to zip tie it through. All right, so I know it looks really funky right now and everything looks kind of crazy, but it's okay because your end result is going to look good. So then I'm going to want to get my bow, and remember, you already have the zip tie going through here. This part might be a little hard. You're going to want to make sure to get it to that wreath frame that bar. You might have to mess with it a little bit. Got it. Okay, perfect. So here you go. I just zip it through. Don't do it too much because you want to make sure you give enough slack for your ribbon to still form and not be too tight to the frame. And then I'm just going to, man, that pick gave me some work there. All right. All right, so what I want to do now, you might have to, this one looks like I might have to add another zip tie to that pick because it's not holding down. So let me add another zip tie to that piece right there. I want to make sure everything is nice and secure. This one's giving me trouble. All right, and of course I put the zip tie in the wrong way. Always make sure you have it in the right way. Usually it works with you a lot better if you have it in the right way. All right, so my bow's gonna be right there. Have everything placed. And I'm just going to attach that pick. Okay, all right. So I know everything is a mess right now. So you're gonna want to fix everything. So here is your chance right now to fix your bow. I'm gonna stand up so I can make sure it looks the way I want. I don't know if I'm gonna keep these picks after all that trouble it gave me. I don't know if I'm gonna actually keep it. I'm gonna take a look to see if I like how it looks, and if I do, I might keep it, but if not, I might just remove them and do the wreath without these picks. But all I'm doing is going back and refluffing my bow the same way I did earlier, just making sure everything is perfect. You can make your bows whatever size you want. I just find that this is the way I've done them and it seems to work. So yeah, that little middle piece is giving me problems, so I might have to go back and use that glue gun. But here we go. It's done. What do you guys think? I don't know if you guys can see it. Got some nice big egg floral arrangement that I'm probably gonna have to go back and form a little, but hope you guys can see it. I'm gonna post a picture for you guys as well. But there it is. I hope this helps you guys. Please let me know if you have any questions. Comment below whether this was helpful or not. And again, if you haven't, please follow my page, The Craft Hangover. You can also follow my Facebook page, The Craft Hangover Cure, where I post all my how-to videos. Thank you.